20 typical behaviors stemming from fear of the unknown. Fear of the unknown can lead to various self-limiting behaviors, such as avoiding new experiences, being rigid in habits, and having a strong need for external security. Here are some common examples. Evaluate your behavior against these to see if you might be affected. Sticking to the same foods. Always eating the same flavor of food and avoiding new flavors. For instance, consistently saying, "I like meat with potatoes," or "I always order roast chicken." While preferences are normal, avoiding untried meals is a form of rigid behavior. Some people have never tried a taco or dined at a Greek or Indian restaurant simply because they limit themselves to what they know. However, stepping outside familiar territory can lead to discovering a variety of delicious food. Wearing the same style of clothes. Always dressing the same way and never trying new styles. Calling oneself a conservative dresser and never changing the style of dress. Increasing the same news sources. Reading newspapers and magazines with the same political leanings every day and never accepting different viewpoints. In a psychological experiment, researchers found that when a person whose politics were well known read an editorial that started with their viewpoint but then changed midway, their eyes darted away as soon as the viewpoint shifted. This shows a refusal to consider different perspectives. Watching the same movies. Watching similar types of movies repeatedly and refusing to learn about things with different philosophical or political viewpoints. The unknown can be confusing, so it is often shut out. Living in the same place. Living on the same street, in the same city or state for life because of familial ties and being afraid to move to a new place with different people, climate, politics, language, and customs. Ignoring dissenting opinion. Refusing to listen to dissenting opinions and not considering others' viewpoints. Immediately assuming dissenters are either insane or ignorant. This refusal to exchange information avoids dealing with different or unknown perspectives. 7. Avoiding new activities. Fear of trying a new activity because you can't do it well. Saying, "I don't know how to do this, I'll just watch from the sidelines." 8. Forcing success in known areas. Prioritizing grades and job evaluations over the pleasure of doing a good job. Seeking success in work and school rather than trying new and unknown things. Staying within known areas to avoid risking lower grades or failing. Avoiding unusual people. Avoiding contact with anyone you think is unusual and using pejorative terms to describe them to avoid the fear that comes from contact with the unfamiliar. Labeling and talking about people instead of trying to understand them. 10. Staying in unpleasant jobs. Holding on to a job you don't like, not because you have to, but because of fear of the unknowns in a new job. 11. Staying in bad marriages. Staying in an unsatisfying marriage because of fear of isolation and the unknown life after divorce. 12. Vacationing in the same place. Vacationing in the same place every year because everything is familiar, avoiding new and potentially enjoyable experiences. 13. Weighing success over pleasure. Focusing on success or failure rather than pleasure in activities. Only doing things you know you'll do well to avoid potential failure. Patience, valuing things monetarily. Measuring the value of things in monetary terms and associating higher costs with greater personal fulfillment. Remember, the value of the unknown cannot be measured in dollars. Seeking titles and honors. Striving for important titles, honors, fancy cars, brand name merchandise, or other symbols of social status, even if you don't like them or the lifestyle they represent. Hurting tempers of the 16. Sticking to plans, being unable to change plans when better options become available. Feeling lost and confused when deviating from preconceived plans. 17. Rigid time concepts. Letting the clock rule your life. Living by a strict schedule and being controlled by time even in bed. Going to bed, eating, and making love on schedule regardless of your actual desires. 18. Disregarding new activities. Not appreciating activities you've never tried before, such as meditation, yoga, astrology, bakia, mahjong, or muscle building. 19. Rigidity in sex. Always engaging in the same sexual activities in the same positions. Never trying new moves because unconventional activities are hard to accept. Speaking to the same friends. Hiding in the same group of friends and never reaching out to others representing new and unknown worlds. Always staying with the same people and avoiding new social scientism. 31. Sticking close at party. Staying with a loved one or friend at a party from beginning to end. Not because you want to, but because it feels safe. 22. Avoiding strangers. Shying away from strangers, fearing to talk about unfamiliar topics, and assuming they must be stronger, smarter, or better talkers. Using this as a reason to avoid new experiences. These are just a few examples. Consider making a list to see how many unhealthy behaviors you exhibit due to fear of the unknown. Ask yourself why you must live your life in mediocrity and obscurity instead of embracing new experiences.